To open the KSi AutoBulk application, double-click the KSi System Controls icon on the desktop or single-click the KSi logo on the Windows taskbar. The application will open to the home page. Any login credentials or access requirements will be provided to the operator by a KSi Controls technician during system startup. The home page provides navigation of the KSi AutoBulk system. The home icon, located in the top left corner of the screen, returns the operator to the home page from anywhere in the application. The data icon opens the data section of the KSi AutoBulk system, where the operator can view, enter, and edit data, manage product inventory assignments, and review transaction reports. The setup icon opens the system setup section, where the operator configures site-specific parameters and system settings. The controls icon opens the control section, where the operator can create and run work orders and monitor equipment during operation. The help icon, represented by a question mark, provides quick access to the KSi support phone number and important system information, and is always available in the upper right corner of the screen. Finally, the exit icon, located at the bottom of the home page, is used to close the KSi AutoBulk system controls application. The setup section of the KSi AutoBulk application is where all core system configurations are managed. This includes equipment settings, process behavior, and overall site setup. From this page, the operator can access and adjust parameters that help optimize efficiency and accuracy for every work order. Not all facilities have access to the same configuration tabs. Available settings depend on the site's equipment and control setup. If additional access is needed, contact the KSi support line to speak with the KSi controls technician, who can verify the configuration and enable access where appropriate. The Print Settings tab is used to configure printers for receipt printing. Facilities with multiple screens may also have multiple printers, and operators can control which printer is used for each type of receipt. The report name determines which type of receipt will be printed, such as a work order or a split order. The printer name specifies which printer device will be used for that report, while printer type is typically set to report. The process type defines where the receipt originates. Primary for standard work orders run through the carrier line or weigh tank. Kiosk for work orders placed from the kiosk during after-hours operation. And repack for orders completed on the repack scale. Finally, report copies controls how many copies of the receipt are printed at the end of each order. A KSi controls technician will ensure each receipt type is assigned to the correct printer during system startup. The Global Settings tab controls system-wide behavior that affects measurement accuracy, order flow, flushing and purging operations, and kiosk access. These settings define how meters and scales capture data, how products are sequenced during an order, and how the system determines when an order is complete. Meter, weigh tank, and repack settings control how long the system allows meters and scales to settle before capturing flow or weight data. These values are established during system startup by a KSi controls technician to ensure accurate measurements. Meter process and weigh tank process are used to globally enable or disable auto flush and auto purge. These sections also define the flush amount and the product used for flushing. For these features to operate correctly, both the flush product and flush amount must be properly configured. General settings control overall order behavior. Meter delay start allows the system to preload the weigh tank before any other product discharge begins. Minimum carrier amount defines how much carrier product must pass through the meter before the weigh tank is permitted to discharge. Complete tolerance percentage determines when an order is considered complete. And finally, the kiosk pin is required to enter and exit kiosk mode, which is typically used for after-hours operations. The loadout flow path shows how the system automatically controls each source during operation. To review a flow path, select it from the list and click Edit to view its parameters. Any fields displayed in gray are locked and cannot be adjusted by the operator. Two key parameters in this section are preact and rate. Preact controls how early the system compensates in order to accurately hit the target amount, while rate automatically updates after each run based on actual system performance. Both of these values are continuously learned and refined by the system and should not be adjusted manually, as doing so can negatively impact delivery accuracy. Additional parameters define the timing and behavior of the equipment during operation. Valve open delay determines how long the system waits to open a valve when the pump starts, while valve close delay controls how long the valve remains open after the pump stops. Pump start delay sets the time between a valve opening and the pump starting. Travel time represents how long product takes to move from the source to the meter and is used by the system for fault detection if flow is not sensed. Finally, purge time defines how long air is pushed through the lines during the purge cycle. The data section provides access to all of the core information used within the KSi AutoBulk system. This area allows the operator to view, create, and edit system data information, ensuring that operational records and resources remain accurate and up to date. Within this section, the operator can manage a variety of data categories. This centralized data management ensures that all components of the KSi AutoBulk system operate from accurate and consistent records. From the data screen, click on the customer's icon. This will display the full customer list. If the system uses API software, those customers will automatically populate here as well. This gives the operator a complete view of their customers in the system. To add a customer, click New on the right-hand side. The operator can enter as much or as little information. Once the form is complete, click Insert to save the customer. The new entry will appear in the list on the left. To edit a customer, select the customer name from the list, click Edit, and make the changes in the form that opens. When finished, click Save to save the changes. To delete a customer, select the customer name and click Delete. This action will permanently remove that customer from the list. From the data screen, click on the products icon. This will bring up the full product list. If the system uses API software, the products will automatically pre-populate here. This gives the operator a complete view of their products in the system. Click the New button to add a product. Fill out the form as shown, paying close attention to the name and density fields. These are required for the system to function correctly. Another important field is priority. This setting controls the order in which products are loaded. Lower numbers represent higher priority, meaning those products are loaded first. Higher numbers represent lower priority and push the product toward the end of the load. If the operator wants a product to always load last, assign it the highest priority number relative to the other products. The inventory section allows the operator to track on-hand product levels. As shipments arrive, an operator will manually enter inventory here. As work orders run, this value will automatically deduct based on actual usage. Keep in mind this feature relies on consistent updates. If shipments aren't entered initially, inventory totals will be inaccurate. As mentioned earlier, density is critical. It must be accurate for the system to deliver products correctly. Incorrect density values will affect application accuracy at the end of the operator work orders. The cal factor is automatically updated by the system as work orders are completed to improve delivery accuracy. Users should not change the cal factor without first contacting a KSi controls technician. The operator will also see isolated and formula. Isolation is used when a product must run by itself or only with specific products. This is uncommon for most operations since most products are compatible. A typical use case would be an outside product that can only be loaded with one specific product and not others. Formula allows the operator to create blended products using percentages. For example, if the operator creates a blend made up of product A and product B, the operator can specify that the blend pulls 87.5% from product A and 12.5% from product B. The system will automatically calculate and pull those amounts every time without requiring the operator to store the finished blend, as long as the base products are available and listed on the product page. Once the operator has completed the form, click Insert to save the product. The new product will appear in the list on the left. To edit a product, select the product name, click Edit, make the necessary changes, and then click Save to save them. To delete a product, select the product name and click Delete. A confirmation message will appear. Selecting Yes will permanently remove the product from the list. The Sources tab allows operators to view all existing product sources in the system. At startup, a KSi controls technician will map and configure all sources for the site. Any additional source must also be added by a KSi controls technician. KSi strongly recommends following a consistent naming convention for all tanks and sources. This helps keep the system organized and makes troubleshooting easier, especially when multiple technicians or operators are supporting the one site. During startup, the KSi controls technician will review source naming with the operator and help establish clear and consistent source assignments. Common source types you will see in the system include major tanks, minor tanks, sub-minor tanks, hand-add metered, and hand-add manual sources. Major tanks are large outdoor tanks that supply products directly through the main carrier line. Minor tanks are typically indoor tanks and may feed multiple destinations, such as a weigh tank, or inject product into the main carrier line alongside a major tank. Sub-minor totes are usually 250-gallon rack-mounted shuttle totes that can supply product to a weigh tank or inject directly into the main carrier line. Hand-add metered sources are used for products not stored in a tank or tote but still require precise metering. This process is most commonly performed at the weigh tank platform, where the system prompts the operator to add a specified amount, such as a bag of dry product or a small jug. Once the required amount is metered, the system automatically continues the order. Hand-add manual sources are also used for small bags or jugs of product, but these do not require metering. The system automatically marks these products as complete and does not pause or wait for confirmation, making proper addition of these products the responsibility of the operator. Within the Sources tab, users can edit limited parameters, including the source name, description, location, comments, capacity, inventory count, unit of measurement in gallons or pounds, and whether the source is available for loading. Product to source relationships are still managed through the Assign tab in the Data section. From the Data screen, navigate to the Assign tab, located just to the left of Products. This page is used to assign products to their corresponding tank sources so the system knows exactly where to pull product from when a work order is run. In the left column, the operator will see a list of all products. The middle column displays the available tank sources, and the right column shows the assignment outcome, confirming which product is associated with which tank. If multiple tanks hold the same product, it's important to understand that each tank must be treated as its own source. The system can only assign one product per tank because each tank has its own valves and plumbing path. If the system does not know which tank to pull from, it cannot deliver the product correctly. To assign a product to a tank source, select the product from the left column, then select the appropriate tank in the middle column and click Assign. A confirmation message will appear indicating the product has been successfully assigned. Once assigned, that product now has a defined source, and anytime it is called for, the system knows exactly which tank to use to deliver the product correctly. The Blend section on the left is used to create blends based on units of measurement per acre. These units can include quarts, gallons, pints, fluid ounces, and similar measurements. To create a blend locally, click New and enter a blend name. Once saved, the blend will appear in the grid on the left. To add products to the blend, highlight the blend in the left-hand grid and select Add Item. A window will appear showing all available products. Select the products you want to include in the blend, enter the target amount for each product, and choose the appropriate unit of measurement. Selecting Carrier designates that product as the base or reference product for the blend. The carrier product determines how the blend scales and how concentrated or diluted it becomes when applied across an acre, measured in gallons per acre. Select Insert or Insert and Close to save the blend. On the data page, the operator will find work orders. This is where all orders are stored if created locally, or if orders are sent down from an API system. Work orders can also be grouped. For example, if one truck is delivering the same product to multiple fields, the operator can combine those individual orders into one master order. The system will load the total quantity once and generate separate tickets for each work order. This saves time and reduces unnecessary reloads. The Transactions section records every work order ever run through the system. The operator can review past transactions, reprint tickets, and filter by date, product, or customer. The operator also has the option to send every transaction to a designated email address. This provides an off-site record and reduces the need for physical paperwork. Transaction data is also stored in the cloud through KSi's AgConnects. Through AgConnects, the operator has unlimited historical access to these same reports. RFID tags are used as part of the 24/7 loadout functionality when KSi controls the facility's garage doors. Drivers scan their RFID card at the access panel outside the building. Once validated, the system automatically opens the garage doors and grants the driver access to the 24/7 loadout area. To create an RFID tag, first ensure the RFID scanner is properly connected to the touchscreen. Click New, enter the employee's name, and then select the code field. Next, scan an unassigned RFID card using the scanner. The system will automatically populate the code field. No manual entry is required. Once the code appears, save the record to complete the setup. The Drivers tab allows the operator to create and manage driver profiles for their site. Drivers can be assigned RFID cards to enable access to the 24/7 loadout bay when applicable. RFID cards are not required when creating a driver profile on the touchscreen. To add a new driver, click New and complete the form as needed. Available fields include the driver's name, phone number, email address, access code, and the option to assign a previously created RFID tag. Once saved, the driver can be associated with work orders and, if applicable, granted secure access to the facility during after-hours operation. In the Flow tab, the operator can configure devices that reduce product flow to lower line pressure. This is used to prevent damage to hoses, lines, or fittings on truck and trailer transports that cannot handle full carrier line pressure. There are two types of flow control devices supported by the system: a low flow control valve and a variable frequency drive or VFD. The low flow valve is an air-operated valve that is physically adjusted during startup with a KSi controls technician. Flow is regulated by opening or closing a mechanical restrictor attached to the valve. No parameter adjustments are required or available for the operator on the touchscreen. When flow control is handled through a VFD, flow rate is reduced by adjusting the pump speed. In this case, the operator can modify the appropriate parameters directly within this tab to control flow behavior. To create a flow control assignment, click New. A setup window will appear where the operator can enter a name for the flow control and select the control type. The operator can choose between VFD speed control or flow control. When VFD speed control is selected, the operator can define the speed percentage the system will ramp down to before shutting off completely. This allows for smoother shutdowns and helps protect downstream equipment. The Company tab allows the operator to create and maintain a log of transport companies associated with their vehicles. This helps organize and track which transports belong to which carriers within the system. The Transport tab allows the operator to create and maintain a log of all transport vehicles that enter and leave the facility. Each transport record includes key details such as the transport name, vehicle number, empty weight, and maximum weight capacity. The operator can also assign a transport company, link an RFID card, and define which flow control method the vehicle uses, either VFD speed control or a low flow valve. Before creating a transport, ensure that the associated RFID tag, flow control, and company records have already been created. To create a new transport, click New and complete the form. Once the form is complete, click Insert to add the transport to the grid on the left. To edit an existing transport, select it from the list, make the necessary changes, and click Save to update the record. The control section of the KSi AutoBulk system provides the operator with an interface to manage and control the system through the automated control process. From this page, the operator can process orders, monitor their progress in real time, and oversee the entire order workflow while it's running. To create a work order, click the Order Wizard box at the top of the screen. From here, the operator can either select an existing work order sent from an API system, shown in the lower section labeled Created Work Orders, or create a new work order locally by clicking New Work Order. At the top of the work order form, the operator will enter an order name. If the order is received from an API system, this field will be automatically updated. For locally created orders, the operator may enter any name they choose. Local work orders are automatically numbered sequentially by the system. Next are the description and comment fields. The operator can enter any relevant information here, but it is important to note that both the description and comments will print on the transaction receipts. Below that is the destination field, where the operator defines where the product will ultimately be delivered within the automation process. This is a critical selection as it ensures the product is routed to the correct bay or delivery point. The transport and driver fields allow the operator to assign a specific vehicle and driver to the work order. These assignments can be used to apply predefined flow restriction settings as well as track vehicles and drivers for billing and record-keeping purposes. The area field is primarily used for blend operations and allows the system to scale product quantities based on the total number of acres associated with the order. Next are the flush and purge options. These functions are used to clear residual product from the system at the end of a work order, helping reduce contamination and cleanup. Carrier flush uses a precisely metered amount of a carrier product, such as water, to flush the carrier line after product delivery. Because this flush is measured through a metering device, the flush volume is accurately controlled and accounted for. Carrier flush is most useful at facilities with multiple injection points feeding into a shared carrier line. Sites with simpler plumbing may not need to use this feature. Carrier purge clears remaining product from the carrier line using air, pushing it back into the truck. This process is automated and replaces the manual purging method operators may already be familiar with. Carrier purge runs to a timed cycle, which is configurable. Most operations find that a purge time of 12 to 15 seconds is sufficient. If a product begins to bubble or foam, the operator can press stop at any time. Weigh tank flush is used to rinse the weigh tank and move remaining product into the carrier line using a liquid such as water. Weigh tank purge uses air to clean product from the weigh tank discharge line into the carrier line. These options default to checked based on the global settings set up by a KSi technician, but if they are not enabled in system settings, they will not run. The operator can safely leave them as is. In the lower left portion of the form, select a customer. For orders received through an API system, this field will populate automatically. For locally created orders, the operator can manually select or search for a customer. To the right of the customer section is the product section. Click Add to select a product and enter the desired amount. Quantities can be entered in gallons or pounds, and multiple products can be added to a single work order if needed. The Split Orders feature allows a work order to be divided in 4 different ways: by percentage, even distribution, volume, or mass. This makes deliveries more efficient by allowing multiple loads to be pulled from a single master order rather than creating a new work order each time product is needed. All splits remain tied to the original work order, maintaining a running total of product delivered while keeping records consolidated under one order. Once all information has been entered, click Save and Load to load the work order. If a mistake is made or changes are needed, return to the order wizard. Select Modify Loaded Order, make the necessary updates, and then click Save and Load again to apply the changes and reload the order. Once a work order is saved and loaded, it enters the queue and is ready to run. The top section of the screen displays the 7 most recent loaded or previously run work orders. Each work order is identified by a status indicator. A yellow status box indicates the work order has been created and loaded but has not yet run. A green status box indicates the work order is actively running. A check mark indicates the work order has completed successfully. To run a loaded work order, select it by highlighting it in the top section. Click Start Work Order to begin the process. Once the order starts, the status indicator will turn green. As the order runs, the device status indicators on the right side of the screen will show which pumps and valves are being initialized and operated. Active devices will display a green status icon. At the start of the process, there may be a brief delay as the automation determines the correct sequence for activating each device. A totalizer will display a live running total of the product being delivered. When the work order is complete, the status indicator will change to a check mark, all devices will reset to their idle state, and a transaction report will automatically print on the brother printer. This same transaction report will also be available in the Transactions tab on the data page for future reference. From the control page, the HOA or Hand Off Auto page can be accessed by selecting the Device HOA icon. The HOA page displays all pumps and valves configured for that site and allows the operator to manually control individual devices as needed on the touchscreen. To operate a device, the operator selects it from the corresponding grid and chooses the appropriate mode. Hand mode manually opens valves or turns on motor-driven pumps. Off mode closes valves or turns off pumps and prevents the device from operating. Auto mode returns control to the automation system. In this mode, valves and motors remain off until the system calls for them during an automated process. For motors equipped with speed control, selecting the device will also display a % speed field, allowing the operator to manually adjust motor speed. The HOA page provides precise manual control while maintaining full visibility into system status and functions similarly to an on-site MCC panel where pumps and valves are controlled using physical selector switches.